Hello everyone, in this video we are going to understand how to launch all the different browsers when we are working on Java with Selenium. We are going to discuss about 4 different browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Opera and Edge. We should have some IDE installed and Selenium libraries are set up. One important thing to note is when we are working with Opera, we should have the Selenium jar files of version less than 4. Then it is going to work with Opera browser. So in case you are trying to not work with Opera browser, then you can use the latest jar files, but in case we are working with Opera, then we need to use the jar files which are having the version less than 4. Quickly I'll show you guys what do I mean by this is once you download the jar files from the selenium.dev website, you go to download section, and when I scroll below this, since we are working with Java, it's set in 4.1 and similar with other languages. So in case we are trying to work with Opera browser as well, we have to go to previous release. So I'll scroll down below. Here in the previous releases section, I'll click on this link and this will give me all the different releases. Now any version I can select below 4 to work with Opera browser, 3.141, 141.5 and all. Okay, and this is going to work with all the different browsers. Okay, so now this is the basic setup which is required. Now in my Eclipse, if you will see in this particular project, I am referencing the libraries which are version less than 4. Okay, now first and foremost thing, to work with any browser, we would need that particular browser's driver file to be available. Okay, now driver file, where we can find this? Now here in the Selenium dev, if you click on this browsers, you'll be able to find link for all the different browsers we can work with Selenium, and this will give a link which will navigate to their pages where the driver files are located. So if I click on this, if I click on Chrome, if I click on Edge, I'll be able to see all the different related driver files. So here if you see, I'm getting this Gecko driver releases. I'll click on this and see our driver files are located. Okay, now one thing important to note here is whichever driver file you're downloading, that should be compatible with the browser you're working. Okay, so if the compatibility is not there, then it is going to throw errors. Now in case you want to work with the latest version, then it is fine. In case you want to go to the previous version, you can select the previous version and then you'll be able to see all the jar files related to that. So since this is for Mozilla, here it is for Opera is available. Here for Chrome, you have to click on the releases. I'll put the links from where we can download the driver, and similarly here for all the releases it is mentioned. Now based on whatever type of machine you have, you can download the driver files accordingly. Okay, once you'll download the driver files, those are going to be in form of in form of zip files, so we need to extract and put it at a place, convenient place, where we can locate all this. Okay, so I have put it on my desktop for now. So here if you see, I have Chrome, Edge, Firefox is called Gecko driver, and for Opera it is Opera driver. Okay, so let's get started. uh, Whatever project you have created, I'll right click new class, and we are going to understand all browser launches. So I'll put all browser launch, and I'll select this public static void main to give the initial structure. I'll click on finish. Okay, so let me maximize this. Now first we are going to talk about Chrome browser. Okay, Chrome browser. Okay, so similar set of commands is going to be used for all the browsers, so it is going to be very easy to understand. So I'll write system dot set property, and then we have to pass 2 parameters. The first parameter in inverted commas is going to be WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver, and then in the second parameter we have to pass the location where we have kept our driver file. Okay, so you can place it at whatever location you want. I have placed it in my driver path. So here Chrome driver 32, I'll select this. Now we have to actually mention the path including this file, so we can click on shift right click and select as copy as path as well, so it will give us the entire path, or if you want you can manually type it as well. So I'll put this here. So here if you'll see, uh, so it took extra inverted commas, so I'll just remove that. and here if you will see, we have to remove this last slash as well. So it is navigating to Chrome driver.exe. Then I'll put a semicolon here. Now I have to write web driver, in which W and D needs to be caps. Driver is equal to new Chrome driver, and I'll close this. Okay, now as you can see that it is giving error. We'll just scroll above this and we'll get an option to import from openqr.selenium. So just click on this and the error is gone. Same thing for Chrome driver, scroll and just click on this and the error is gone. Okay, now these two statements are perfectly fine to launch the browser. So I'll just click on run and we'll quickly check if it is launching the browser or not. So this is the console session, and as we can see that our Chrome browser is correctly launched. Okay, I'll close this and I'll close this as well. Now we can comment these set of line using a double forward slash, but I'll just copy this so that we can use this for the next browser, and I will comment this out. You can use control forward slash shortcut to make the line in the comment section. Okay, now we are going to talk about Firefox browser. Okay, so I'll put Firefox browser. Now instead of webdriver.chrome.driver, I have to mention gecko.driver. Okay, uh, in case of Firefox the name is gecko, so we have to put gecko.driver, and here I have to pass the location of the gecko driver. So in my case it is located in drivers in this file, and this is the path. So I'll copy this path and I will place this here. Okay, now here I'll just write gecko driver.exe. So this is my path for Mozilla Firefox. Okay, now here WebDriver driver is fine. Instead of Chrome I have to mention Firefox here. Okay, so I'll mention Firefox driver. Now same thing, since this is imported it is not giving error. As you can see the file got imported, but for Firefox we don't have it, so we'll scroll above this and we will import the related file. Okay, now once we have imported this, as you can see that this has popped up. Now since this is commented, it is going to launch Firefox. We'll quickly check this. I'll run, and as you can see that our Mozilla Firefox browser is launched. Let me close this and we'll copy this to work with a third browser. I'll copy this and I'll paste this here, and I'll use control forward slash to put comment, and here let's talk about Edge browser. Okay, so I'll write Edge, sorry, one second, Edge. Okay, and I'll minimize this to give a better view. Now in case of Edge it is going to be edge.driver, and the path I need to mention. So I'll go to this, I'll go to my drivers, and here I have it in edge driver. So I will copy this path, and the file name is msedgedriver.exe. So I have to put that accordingly. So I will replace this and I'll put msedgedriver.exe. Now here WebDriver driver is equal to new. In case of Edge we need to mention Edge driver. So I'll remove Firefox and I'll put Edge, and since we do not have the file for this it is going to throw error, and as we scroll above this we'll get this option to import Edge driver. So I'll click on this. Now it is imported, and since this is commented we should be able to launch Edge driver. So I'll click on run and see our Edge browser is launched correctly. Okay, now similar thing we are going to repeat for Opera driver as well. So I'll copy this and I'll paste this down here, and let me scroll up and I will comment these lines out, and here I'll mention Opera driver. Okay, now in case of Opera As you can guess, this is going to change to webdriver.opera.driver, and in case of Edge, here it is going to be Opera driver. Okay, now we need to just mention the correct path. So in my driver path, I have already downloaded this Opera driver. So I will just check the location. This is the location and the file name is operadriver.exe. So I will replace this with this, and I will write, instead of ms edge driver, opera driver. So I will write opera driver.exe. Okay. Now, since the import file is not there, so I'll scroll above this and you'll be able to see this option. Now, if you're working with any version or Selenium Jar versions of 4 and above, you won't be able to see that option of importing Opera driver because it is not supported. Okay. Now, if I'll click on run here, it should launch Opera driver. Opera browser. So as we can see that it has launched correctly. Now, this was the basic code to launch any browser. Now, after launching the browser, there are some basic commands like driver.get, and then whatever URL we want to launch, we have to pass in this. Okay. So if I'll pass, let's say this path. Okay. So we have to, it's a good idea to always copy paste so that we are getting the entire URL, and we'll quickly check with Opera browser, but it is going to work with any other browser, driver.get, and then whatever URL we have passed, that is going to get loaded. Okay. Now, just in case the browser is coming in minimize mode, we can maximize it as well. So there are a lot of inbuilt commands which we can use. So quickly I'll show driver dot manage dot window. The moment you keep pressing dot, it will give you all the options available. Dot, you'll see maximize, lot of different options. So I'll click on maximize here. You can minimize, maximize accordingly. And if I run this now, my browser is going to get launched, my URL is going to get populated, and then this browser is going to get expanded as well. Okay, so this is what I wanted to cover in this particular video, that how to launch all the different browsers, and we can get the understanding in one video. And in case you are facing any issues in launching the browser, it's more likely going to be a compatibility issue. I have made videos on the different exceptions as well, so do check out my other videos and let me know for any feedback. Please like, share and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.